consent agenda. The first item is 9.1, or excuse me, the consent agenda is items 9.1 through 9.5. A motion is needed to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Thank you, Ed.
Second.
Thank you, Beth. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. All opposed to the motion? The motion passes with a vote of 4 for and 0 against. And I apologize, Director Mills is excused for this evening. All right, the next item is item 10.1, Superintendent Hiring. A motion is needed to discuss the hiring of Rachel Davenport as superintendent. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Thank you, Edward. We need a
Second.
second. Thank you, Grant. So again, the motion is to discuss the hiring of Rachel Davenport as superintendent. A motion has been made and seconded. Do we have any new comments for discussion? Yes, so I'll start the discussion. I've got some more comments, but again, as I mentioned, Director Mills is excused for this evening. However, she did provide comments that I'd like to read as part of my comments. So the first thing is that she wanted to reassure that she had reviewed all the input the board received for the community. She thanked everyone for the time they took them to contribute. Some of the things she talked about that she thinks important for a superintendent is empathy, compassion, a strong understanding of today's parents, kids, and students, truly understanding the needs of our staff and students, understanding the very makeup of our community and the diversity that makes this such a wonderful district. She then went on to say that she has seen firsthand that Rachel Davenport exemplifies every characteristic stated that I just talked about. She believes that she has energy, or that the energy and climate change immediately for the better under her leadership. She got to observe her in the role of assistant superintendent and HR director. Then she went on to say that work with both tribal governments and the Hispanic community to build a better, more inclusive learning environment for our students and staff. Rachel Davenport has proven over the last 10 months in quite the extensive and challenging work in the interview that she is well suited to be our permanent superintendent. Any additional comments?
I'll go ahead and share. I first just really want to thank all the parents, the guardians, the North Kitsap staff members, community members for sharing your feedback regarding the qualities and attributes you feel are most important for our next superintendent to have. And we received 150 responses, which was great. Your input was extremely valuable. I would like to also thank NKEA for sharing the attributes you value most in a superintendent. This document has been extremely valuable in evaluating our interim superintendent over the last 10 months. What I've learned is that the attributes most valued by all of you are the same ones I personally observed in Rachel. I've had the privilege of knowing and working with Rachel for close to 5 years now. First in her role as HR director, as an assistant superintendent, and most recently as our interim superintendent. The attributes you value the most from the surveys are kindness, honesty, compassion, transparency, and communication, just to name a few. Over the last 10 months, these are the same leadership attributes that Rachel has consistently demonstrated. For example, with communications, I've observed how Rachel interacts with staff, students, parents, community members, and her team. She communicates a clear vision, actively listens while being collaborative, responsive, and present. She takes the time to listen and connect on a personal level. Another example of collaboration and trust was when the bond did not pass. The district had to pivot quickly and redefine the work for a levy. Rachel's ability to be collaborative and trust others' expertise became very evident through that process. I believe Rachel truly values the importance of collaboration and partnership with our key stakeholders, including our tribal governments and Hispanic community. She is invested in making sure that we, as a district, are doing all that we can to provide an inclusive, supportive, inspiring, an equitable environment for our students. I feel confident that Rachel will do an excellent job of building a safe and supportive environment where students and staff will continue to grow and thrive.
I'll go. Since I'm the newest member of the board, I had to do a bit of homework on this issue. I knew it was going to come. I come to this from a little different perspective. For example, yesterday I spent much of the day on Zoom working with administrators in a Khartoum in Sudan, trying to save the university in the middle of a civil war. And so I kind of have a different view on education and what it takes to successfully run a district or a learning environment. To prepare for this, I reviewed the notes and the packet of information from when this search was done in 2016. And I was looking at the qualities that were looked for, the reports from the search organizations, and I still didn't have the answer that I wanted. Because I take very seriously this role as a director. And I live in this community. My children went through the schools here, my 4 children. And so I approached this from a position of, Rachel convinced me that you need to be in this position. And as I traveled in the various schools with her, as I watched her interact with students, with staff, with teachers, with the tribes, I was impressed with her cool hand and a demeanor that fosters a sense of cooperation. As I said, I looked at those in relation to the 2016 files, and I came to the conclusion that I think this school district will be well served by Rachel.
Okay, early last spring, when it became apparent that we were going to need a new superintendent, my first thought was to understand how a focus group and how a search works. So I went to the 2016 one 7 years ago when we voted on a different person. And at that time, there were 10 different focus groups, and I added up how many different people responded or participated, and there was 77. Just in the few days that we had to get community input here, we have 150 comments online. So I feel pretty confident that we're hearing from a lot of different people in the community. It's clear from public comments that many people did not feel like they were part of the district's conversation over the past several years. This is unfortunate since our business is all about the well-being of our children. Our staff are experts in their field and should be treated with respect. Rachel has demonstrated that she leads with respect. For example, shortly after she was appointed, she began weekly visits to our schools, not to evaluate, but to listen. I have gone with her several times during the school year with her weekly visits to the schools. She encourages volunteer reps from every school community to join together to reevaluate decisions that had been made in the past. When asked to come to a school presentation, or teach a lesson, or to meet with a parent group, she finds the time to do it. The public asks for changes to how our school board operates. Rachel encouraged and supported changes such as a later start time, 2 comment times, longer time to sign up to speak. All our meetings now, under Rachel's leadership, are recorded audio and visually and put online for all to review. Communication to families and staff were improved with Parent Square and a district calendar. Parents asked for technology changes this school year. Rachel followed through. Computers at K through 5th grade are kept at home. Kept at school, not at home. And a no cells during school for older kids is being enforced consistently, even if the kids don't like it. So listening and responding to requests, to me, is a sign of respect. Several comments were made in the survey about hiring a superintendent with experience in public education. Well, I'm impressed with her wide variety of experiences, as well as earning a superintendent's endorsement. After teaching for several years, she came to North Kitsap 13 years ago. She has been a building administrator, director of special ed, director of secondary education, director of technology, and an executive director of human resources. During the last 9 months, she has been a superintendent. We have seen her in action. She successfully navigated district challenges with immense compassion and knowledge. She has ended the school year on a positive note and worked throughout the summer to give the teaching staff a meaningful start to a new year. And she followed the lead of our independent community committee to explain and promote a successful levy campaign. In conclusion, I was surprised to learn from the Washington State School Directors Association, WASDA, that a search would cost between $50,000 and $100,000 and take 6 to 9 months to complete. We have evaluated her leadership skills. They align with WASDA's framework and with most of the stakeholders' feedback.
So I'd actually like to utilize my time to amplify some of the comments that we received. These comments, they're from staff members, parents, community members, and the comments I'm going to talk about, they're not people providing their input on what qualities the superintendent have, they're what qualities Rachel Davenport has. So the common themes you'll see between these is transparency, collaboration, and honesty. Some of the comments were, and again, keeping in mind these are things that they said that she has and she displays. Transparency, grace, compassion, and student-centered. She's out and about at each school. She's very quick at updating NKSD parents, supporting our Native community. Compassion and professionalism, communicated timely and clearly. Prompt communications and level of involvement. Bringing a positive outlook back to NK. Excellent leader, improved communication through many departments. Willing to listen and continue to build relationships to make continuous improvements here at NKSD. Remarkable leadership in challenging situations. She's a bridge builder, an open communicator, and consensus former. Integrity, trust, and a sense of cohesiveness. Cares about the kids. Humility, presence in our schools. Smart, savvy, compassionate, humble, honest. Transparent, supportive. She's approachable. Collaborating with staff, parents, and community. Leading with compassion for the students. Humble, intelligent, and kind. Solid administrator from assistant principal through the ranks of district admin. She truly cares and understands the importance of our government-to-government relationships. Professionalism and dedication, understanding of the community's needs, inspired a sense of trust, community, and collaboration. A lot of the comments went on to talk about their overwhelming feelings that Rachel should continue in the role of superintendent. Some of those comments were, please keep Rachel Davenport. Rachel Davenport has my highest confidence. Push forward with Rachel. Exceptional job during this interim period, and I'm thrilled at the prospect she could step into this role permanently. Current leader is doing a good job. Right decision. Very much like to see her continue in her role. Would be an excellent superintendent of NKSD. Is an exceptional choice in that we need to look no further. The board should not do a costly search for someone else, as Rachel, in my opinion, has led our district with compassion, transparency, and integrity. Rachel already shines as our leader, no need to search anymore. Gladly support her becoming our permanent superintendent. Headed in the right direction under Rachel, and we'll have a bright future with her as our superintendent. Rachel is a great choice. I like the idea of continuing with Rachel as superintendent. I could go on, there's many other ones. So really, I'd like to close with just reading a little bit of the feedback that we've received from the community. One of the comments was, I've had firsthand opportunity to see Rachel Davenport in action. She exemplifies the attributes that are needed in our superintendent position. Like I mentioned, she's a bridge builder, an open communicator, and consensus former. All parties in the school district, students, parents, educators, staff, and leaders see Rachel as a solid performer. Please retain her and elevate her in a permanent position as superintendent. Another comment was, leadership that combines empathy and forward-looking vision is rare in education. Ms. Davenport has demonstrated remarkable leadership in challenging situations. I definitely echo that. And remains a strong advocate for students, families, and staff. She is undoubtedly the future of NKSD. And I'll read one more. Please retain Rachel. You are correct that you do not need to do an expensive nationwide search. Rachel has been the leader North has needed for many years. She is willing to accept the permanent position. Please do so. And I lied, I'll share one more. Rachel has been the best superintendent in all the 22 years I've been in the district. Please keep her as the head of NKSD schools. I personally have gotten to work with Rachel since I've been on the board, which is coming up on 5 years. I've got to, in addition to the interim superintendent role, I've got to observe her as the assistant superintendent, and on many occasions the acting superintendent. I think it's very rare for a school district to be able to get that length of evaluating somebody before putting them in a position. We've had that. We've had a couple of years